Stop obsessing over a person and start manifesting and focusing on the energy of the relationship that you actually want. Because when you do that, if you want your SP, maybe they or someone even better will come in. So you can have your specific person or someone who's actually way better. Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be about manifesting relationships, the relationship outcomes that you want. Of course, this can be applied to SP. It's not a completely separate technique or affirmations that you would necessarily have to use for someone else. So this is going to apply to your specific person if you want it to. But I also strongly encourage you guys to really think, is this the person you want? You may change your mind, feelings can change, and making long-lasting decisions just based on emotions is something I want to encourage people to think over. So using my content as the best possible advice, whether or not you want to hear it, this is going to be something for your own benefit. So we're delving into how to manifest your ideal relationship today. Everything will be on screen for my extra content, bonus material, exclusive videos just for members, the LOA Coaching Darlings, for which the join button is right below. Everything else is linked in the description box, so take a look if you want to take that extra step with support, your manifesting journey, getting my coaching advice, professional advice. All of that is done via those channels, so do take a look if you're interested. And now let's jump into the content. It's about no longer focusing on or coming from a place of fear and lack and a fear of losing your SP or losing someone, losing a relationship, having that distance created. You're not supposed to, ideally on the right manifesting experience, whether it's your SP or someone brand new, coming from a place of fear and lack and doubt and all the past baggage that you're dragging behind you that you don't need to and you don't deserve to be doing so. So just keep that in mind and take that into consideration if you want to do a mini audit of your manifesting experience, why you're manifesting what you are, who you are manifesting, and you want to make sure you're focusing on the relationship that you ideally want. What does that look like? It's all about that end result, not the details. And sometimes, if you're open to it, then it could be a completely different specific person in a way. So it's about creating and I don't really like the word creating because I think that gives a different definition, but manifesting and bringing into your reality from a high self-worth, a developed self-concept. You're not, weighed down emotionally and mentally by insecurity and issues with self. You've kind of worked through that and built on from that. You know your value, you know your worth. You hold yourself to a high standard as well. It's not just convincing your own mind that, yeah, I'm high value, but understanding these are the reasons why. I've worked through my issues. I know I'm an amazing partner, so I deserve and I'm going to also have an amazing partner. So not coming from doubt or mistreatment or issues that you personally have faced in the past with relationships or your specific person, because again, that's the old story, just past things from the 3D reality that are irrelevant, but also understanding I know who I am and who I am in a relationship. When you focus on the frequency, the quantum frequency of having reciprocated love, being in love, being in that end result, your reality collapses into and around that assumption. So your reality literally has to shift and conform to reflect that, to bring that into you. And you're focusing on that reciprocation. You're in the end result, the end state. That's what I'm always saying. And even if the end state right now, it doesn't have to be marriage or commitment. Maybe you're just open to meeting someone. You just want to focus on that because maybe you're really young. Maybe, you're a teenager, although my key demographic is young adults, I think. But, maybe you're not ready for that next step or you're not 100% sure, and that's fine. You can do that with your specific person or someone brand new and say, I'm open to something new. I'm open to my SP or maybe someone even better, because guess what? That does actually exist. I know when the emotions are strong, when you're in love, it doesn't feel like it, but I promise you there might be something even better that is meant for you at a higher level. So when you embody and mentally focus on and just mentally experience, feel, think from that end result, literally convince yourself in that moment. Obviously, I'm not saying logically you have to literally delude yourself into saying, my husband's right next to me, I'm not saying like that, but you are mentally imagining and kind of pretending mentally through your thoughts, through your emotions, what you visualize, just that internal experience that you have, as if you're in that end result. You are having that reciprocated love, what you give out and what you know you can give, and you imagine yourself already being that amazing partner, you're receiving it all back. When you put yourself in that, that is what I'm talking about, how your reality literally has to shift to physically bring that in. Also, just to finish up this first section, I have a Neville Goddard quote before we delve deeper into another part. So he said, "Dare to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled." This is something I've touched on and used as an example in past videos as well. But again, feeling the wish fulfilled, it doesn't have to directly tie into your emotions. Neville isn't saying you have to literally feel in love and that's all it takes. It's all about the mental experience. So yes, emotions is great if you can feel that, which usually kind of is incited as a feeling within you naturally through visualizing, a guided meditation, or maybe a long period of looping affirmations. It suddenly hits you, your kind of, your body and your mind just suddenly conform in that moment to that feeling. I've personally been there with lots of my manifestations, so it can come about, doesn't have to be there, but yeah, so the feeling itself can connect in terms of what Neville is saying, but mentally feeling, mentally imagining, and mentally living in the wish fulfilled, in the assumption of already having that, because you're working to build a permanent assumption that it is already yours. So when you feel the feelings and mentally experience, like I said, just visualize and imagine, speak to yourself if you're home alone, or just think to yourself as if you're already in that end result. You have those reciprocated feelings. You're in that amazing, perfect relationship of commitment where you and your partner are just on the same level, same wavelength, same feelings in every way. Your reality will draw in, and your mindset will draw in a physical reflection of that, whoever matches that. So of course you can also anchor that directly into your specific person. And also a point I often make about your RAS, and that's also birds before land and signs, and the physical reflections you start to see build up in your 3D reality. It's the reticular activating system. It starts to reflect and show you signs, experiences, maybe conversations, or just things in your day-to-day life, in your personal reality, and your personal life experience, of things that reflect that end result that you're focusing on. So it will reflect directly on you focusing on being chosen, committed to, loved, pursued, respected, just being chosen, like having that person say, "I value you, I see all your worth, and I choose you, and I want to pursue you, and I'm putting all my effort and energy into you." That's how you want to feel about yourself. Just feel amazing, and that all the value that you have is being seen and appreciated. Putting yourself in that end result, and you will start to see more and more things show up in your reality to reflect that. So if you want to get really specific, if you're not 100% sure yet, or if it's not your specific person and you haven't already experienced with them what you would like to experience, you haven't had the positive treatment and behaviors, and you don't know yet what that commitment with them would look like, that would actually be a time as well where I would encourage you even more to consider opening up to whatever possibility comes in, because sometimes it's the most unexpected things and unexpected people where years prior, months prior, you might have thought, "I can't see myself doing anything else, being with anyone else, this is my soulmate, this is the one, I've seen it so many times," and then you can actually realize, oh, it ended, or oh, I had a realization, and oh, my feelings have changed, and then you can meet someone so amazing. So just be open to that if you are in that scenario, but you are obviously more than welcome to apply this to your SP. Writing down so you can get specific about what the happiest, healthiest, most fulfilling relationship looks like to you. What is that version of love like? What does that relationship feel like, and what is it like in terms of describing it, summarizing it in key phrases? What words would describe that? What feelings would describe it? Write it down so you have a kind of visual tool, an aid to help you figure out maybe affirmations and what is your ideal end result in your life. So one example that you can actually use if you want to apply this directly to your specific person is maybe focusing on the things that aren't showing up, that they aren't doing, like they're not texting me, they're not calling, they haven't asked me on the date yet, maybe they're saying things but their actions aren't following through. Change it back around, flip it back around. A mental diet is a key element here. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck in that negative cycle. You're not going to see the visible improvement in their behavior and their initiative, really. So saying, my person, or, SP always shows up for me. They always do I don't want to say do the most. That's not a very positive phrase, but like, yeah, they offer me everything I need. They support me in every way I need. They pursue me constantly. They bring me the most fulfillment. Something like that. That is going to really summarize exactly what you want and literally cancel out all the other negative points. So a great Joe Dispenza method, who is someone that was part of my initial journey and inspiration where I learned so much and I've watched a lot of his content. I have one of his books as well that's tying into quantum physics actually, but he speaks a lot about visualizing and the power of the mind's eye and, visualizing. So imagine yourself already in that relationship. You're already in that, you already have that literal connection with your person, and feel all those feelings in, like, visualize and mentally imagine you're literally there right now. It doesn't have to feel real, or you don't have to worry about the timeline. Literally just relax and give in to the intention of thinking that in the moment. Just say, I'm just going to take a minute or 5 minutes to practice this and really visualize and mentally imagine being in that end result. No matter what else is going on, I'm just going to put my focus here in this moment and visualize the gratitude you'd feel, the warmth, the safety, the love, just everything. You're visualizing and mentally embodying that just during the visualizing process. And when you feel that, it's very likely that you will actually, in that moment, now I haven't looked into the exact facts or, scientific knowledge about this, but I'm pretty sure even just an imagined experience and visualizing that and kind of inciting those feelings within yourself, not because you physically experienced that or you've had an amazing, experience with your person, but you're imagining it, it will probably also lead to the chemical reaction of releasing oxytocin. And that is the chemical reaction in your body that you would feel in the end result, that you're going to bring that about consciously by focusing on that experience. And that's how you're going to literally relate even more to your desired reality. So if you are open to focusing on someone else, or I know there are some people, I've had clients or just viewers to ask about this. Not everyone has one specific person. So if you're open to manifesting someone new, remind yourself that you're not manifesting one person only, or that you're manifesting a face or this one identity and one literal person. You're manifesting the relationship, the end results, the feelings, the fulfillment. Because ultimately, when you ask people, or if you think to yourself, what is it really that you want? You want joy, fulfillment, to feel safe and just happy overall. So it's not about, yes, it has to be, Michael Brown or Sarah Jessica Parker. That was a random celebrity name, but you know what I mean. That's not what people's answer would be. It would be to have joy, fulfillment, satisfaction, safety, comfort, freedom, all these things that you can experience in a desired outcome. You can consider, not being so attached to who, just being more attached to the what. What is it that I want? This is the relationship, and focusing on that. And something that I personally connect to and believe in, and I think quite a few viewers might connect as well, is that God does already know who's best for you, who would be your ideal partner. So it's easy to work in a co-creation format, maybe pray if you want to, if you believe, ask God for support to guide you, what's the best thing to do, because God knows what relationship and what person is going to uplift you and be the best for you and help you just be the best version of yourself in life, in this world, in general, what's going to just elevate you and not drain you. And it's just another level of faith and trust. And that, for me personally, has helped me a lot in terms of, how I feel, my mindset in life. Because when you think about it, something might seem delayed, or why is this going wrong? And yes, in manifestation terms, you can take control in your physical reality, obviously. But it may also be a good way to say, you know what, I don't need to panic or worry, or say every time something goes wrong, spiral and apply negative assumption and, woe is me, another bad thing happened. Just take it sometimes as redirection. For me, it helps with my faith to say, this is God's protection or God's redirection, and saying, it might seem like a delay, or I'm not yet achieving what I want, but especially in the context of manifesting a relationship or manifesting a specific person, that it's divine timing and it's syncing up, aligning your life with your desired outcome, with that reality, with that person in the perfect way, even though on the outside, it might seem like it's just a delay. So before your 3D can confirm your outcome and what you want, you need to mentally embody, and not necessarily through your emotions or consistently, feel loved and feel committed to, but to some extent you do need that, and at least mentally thinking as if you're already in that state. That needs to align, that needs to be there before it can come in your reality. Obviously, that's the main principle of manifesting as well. So with that relationship, when it comes in or when it shows up with your SP, you're going to just feel calm and confident. You're not going to question things. You're not going to feel doubt. If it's right, if it's the end result, if it's positive and what you deserve and what you know deep down, and with your higher self, that this is it, this is what it's supposed to be, you will feel that sense of calm. It will feel effortless, easy, maybe not perfect, because it doesn't need to be completely perfect, but you will just feel good. You won't question things. So that's when you know you're in that end result and with the right person. So when you focus on that amazing, perfect, healthy relationship and the end result where you are living in that, you see yourself, you're glowing, you feel happy, you feel confident, you feel loved, your SP or another perfect match, maybe it is someone else who's meant for you, and you will learn that, maybe, perfect divine match, whoever it may be, whoever you ideally want, they will match that, they will conform to that, they will rise to the occasion, so to speak, and everything will come together as it's supposed to if you stay focused on the end result. And yeah, I think I'm going to leave this video here. It was quite a long one, but I hope you guys found it useful. I wanted to take a slightly different approach and mindset here, but if you appreciated it and you enjoyed, do thumbs up, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and I'll see you next time.